All right, you guys, it's time to do my full review of the Uniherz Luna. Now, I know it's been well over a month since I said I was going to get this out. I'm sorry it took so long, but life happens. A lot of times, either I don't have the energy or I just didn't feel well enough to do it. I apologize, but I'm ready to do it now. The reason why, like, if I'm just too tired or don't feel well, I don't want to get on here, do a video, and not give my best. I don't want to be just going through the motions, and I want to do my best. So I wanted to wait till I actually felt real well, had the energy, and go ahead and do this review. I'm gonna try to make this short, if at all possible, because there's not a whole lot to talk about with this. So first thing, I'm going to get into all the things that I like. Then I'll get into the things I don't like, and then I'll just go over a few settings with you. Okay, let's get started. All right. Now, the first thing I like about this device. Now, keep in mind, I got to go back and say this is like a copy of the Nothing phone. Now, there are some things about this I actually like a little bit better than that phone, but I tell you what, I'm going to actually get that Nothing phone at some point, and I'm going to compare the two. But I think, and I really believe this, you're probably better off getting that phone than this phone. And maybe after the things I share with you, maybe you'll feel the same way as well. But I'm not downgrading this phone like to make it seem like it's garbage or junk, because it's not. It's really not. This is a good backup phone, good secondary phone, or it's a good phone for somebody that just can't afford more expensive phones, or you just may like the LEDs, you may like the build quality, thickness, the weight of the phone, the design. You may like that better than a Nothing phone. All right, so let's get into this. Now, the things that I like, and I did say I was going to get into the things that I don't like. Now, I want to get into the things that I do like first. First thing is the price. Now, when this phone was first released a few months ago, I think back in April, it was $299. Now it is $279. So it's gone down like it was 20 bucks. So if you didn't want to pick it up then, you're better off picking it up now because it's even cheaper. So from $299 to $279. So I like that. The design. I really do like the design of this device. I really do. Looks a little bit, it looks like like an iPhone on the back, honestly. But you just got the LEDs. Now, when you pick up this phone, you see they start flashing at random. Now, you could set it like this, where it's going like this all the time. You like when you're playing content or you're playing music, or if you're just picking up the phone, it's just gonna do this all the time. But you could set this. This doesn't have to stay like this all the time. But I do like the design of this phone a lot. From the back, first of all, I like the thickness of this phone. It's nice and thick. And I don't like thin devices. I like phones with some thickness to it. This really has the look from the back and around the sides like an iPhone, literally, except that it's thicker and heavier than an iPhone, and it has a flat display. So I like the design of this phone a lot. Of course, you got your power button built into the fingerprint sensor here on the side. You got your volume rockers up and down, and you got your little quick app buttons here on the side. But I definitely like the design of this phone. Definitely like the design. And of course, what this phone is really all about is the LED lights. Next, the button placement. I already went over the button placement, so I like the button placement. Everything is nice and, is low where you can get to the power button and the fingerprint sensor. Now, you got to stretch a little bit for the volume rockers, just a little bit. But the power button is positioned properly. You can easily get to it to turn the phone on and off. So I definitely like that. I already talked about, maybe I didn't, the build quality. The build quality on here is solid. It feels like a very expensive phone, but it's not, okay? But that thickness, the heft. Now, for those of you out there that really just don't like phones that are real heavy, you may want to stay away from this because I believe this is heavier than an iPhone. I don't know the exact weight because I don't have nothing to measure it, but this is one of the heaviest phones that I have. Matter of fact, my ROG 5 is not as heavy as this, and that phone has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, 2 amplifiers. It's not as heavy as this phone here. Okay, this phone is taller, and it's wider and it's thicker than my ROG 5. It just is. So this is a beastly, manly, heavy type device. So if you don't like heavy devices, stay away from it. But if you want something that feels, that got the kind of thickness, the heft, then you might like this. You just might like. I don't dislike it, but I just believe over time, if you're handling this phone a lot, you're just going to get some type of hand or arm fatigue because it is heavy. All right, next, I love the fact that it has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack right up here. I like that. Okay. Next, this thing has an IR blaster. I'll show you right here. Here you go. See, add remote. All you got to do is add remote. Now, let me press that. Look at all these things that is good for. You got TV, satellite, projector, AC, out of box, DVD, air cleaner, fan, amplifier, water heater, SLR, IR switch, and DYI. So like I said before, and like Flossie Card has been telling you for years now, it's not just IR blaster is not just about TVs. It's about a whole lot of other things. It's a universal remote control. So you can use it on anything that uses some type of remote control, infrared. So I love that. Now that's pretty cool for a device this cheap to have an IR blaster, but it does. See, this is what upsets me about these premium devices, even though I know most of y'all like those type of devices, but I don't understand why a device over $1,000 can't have an IR blaster. So of a $280 device can have one, surely a device that's over $1,000 can have an IR blaster. So there's really no excuse. It just goes to show you guys that people are spending all this exuberant money. You're getting ripped off, because you should, for a premium flagship device, you should be getting everything, and I mean everything, seriously, for that price. Next, I like the fact that this has face unlock. Now, maybe not the best face unlock in the world. Let me see if it gets me behind this camera. Is it a double tap? No, let me see. No, I think I got to raise the weight. Yeah, raise the weight. So it doesn't really see me that well behind the camera, but it works okay. I mean, I just like the fact that it has it. It's not the best, but it does have it, unlike, some devices that have the nerve to come out with no face unlock, which I don't understand that. That's a basic function. All right, next thing. This thing comes with 256 gigs of internal storage right off the bat, as opposed to the Nothing phone, which is a 128. This is 256, so I like that. Next, I like this 6-inch flat display. Now, this is IPS LCD displays, which I don't really care for, but I will say I like the fact that this display is flat, completely flat. So I'm telling you, if you ever decide to get this, whoever out there decides to get this, it's going to feel like an iPhone, like from the design of it, how it's built, and that nice flat display. If you don't like curved displays, you're going to like this. Next, there's 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 2 days of battery life in this device easily for me. Now, I can't speak for you. I'm not a gamer. I don't shoot a lot of video, take photos, just, the everyday mundane things, but everything is at max. I got 100% brightness. Now, of course, it doesn't have an always on display, so that probably helps. So no always on display. The display will light up, though, if you get a notification, so you can see what your notification is, but there's no always on display. But I have it at 100% brightness. I get all my, all my notifications in real time. I use it a lot for YouTube, playing videos, playing music, just the norm stuff. Like I said, I'm not a gamer, but this battery is a beast. The minimum you're going to get is like a day and a half, and that's with moderate to heavy usage. So I like the battery life. Next, now this comes with 2 screen protectors, a clear case, and a charger. So I already did an unboxing for this, so you actually get an unboxing experience, unlike phones that you're paying well over $1,000 for, and you don't get nothing in the box except a charging cable, which I think is an absolute joke, and that should not be tolerated by you, the consumer. You should not tolerate that. I know I don't. And the final thing I like about this device is the LED lights. I like it. Now, can this type of thing kind of get old? It can, but it depends on you. It really depends on you. It can get old to you depending on you. Now, if you somebody that want to turn heads, you go into a restaurant, you sit that down, and people see that, they're gonna be like, What is that?" This is a head turner. This is gonna get people's attention, guaranteed. It is, because there's no other phone out there in the market that does this like this. Now, the LED lights are configured differently than the Nothing phone, and they're actually thicker. They're thicker, bigger, and brighter than the Nothing phone. So if you really want to get somebody's attention, you're going to get their attention with this. No question about that. All right, so of course, I have to get into all the things that I don't like, okay? Sorry, but I mean, we just got to keep it 100. The first thing I don't like, I kind of like this, but I don't like it, is the weight. Now, I don't mind a phone that has some weight to it to make it feel a little more premium, but this thing is just a little too heavy. For the average person, they're not going to like the weight of this. Because, for some people, they like phones that are thin and light. Me, I don't like thin and light phones, but I don't want a phone overly heavy, like 370, 380, milligrams. I don't want nothing that heavy. So, the weight could be a little bit of a problem if I'm going to have this in my hand for a really long period of time. Next, the IPS LCD display. I don't like LCD displays because, I mean, the viewing angles are not great. As you can see, it changes. You look at it head on, it looks great, but the blacks are not super black, inky black. It's just not nowhere near as good as an AMOLED display or OLED. So I don't care for LCD displays at all. And that's the advantage that the Nothing phone does have. It does have an AMOLED display. Next, this thing has no 5G capability. So it's 4G only. Some people may be turned off by that. I'm not, only because of 5G, 4G don't mean nothing to me. If it's 4G, not a problem. But for it to be 2023, you can't come out with a phone with only 4G. You got to have 5G. So that may turn a lot of people off. Next, no always on display. Like I said before, if you get a notification, it will light up, but there's no always on display. And I know the reason for that is because it has an LCD display, and I don't think there's any LCD display that has an always on display, because you'll probably end up getting screen burn. Next, there is a lack of brightness. Now, I know it kind of looks bright, looking at it dead on, but it really doesn't get that bright. The thing that gets super bright is the LED lights. I think the LED lights get brighter than the display. So for me, the display lacks brightness. Next, no dual stereo speakers. You only get one down-firing speaker, which sounds pretty mediocre. Okay, it's okay, but the Nothing phone has dual stereo speakers, so that's another advantage of the Nothing phone. Next, no wireless charging. Now, most phones that are this price point is not going to have wireless charging. There are a few exceptions, like the Blue phone and maybe another phone out there. I just can't remember the name of it, that came with wireless charging, but this one does not. And I'm used to wireless charging because I use it a lot. Next, the wired charging is painfully slow. 18 watts for a 5,000 milliamp hour battery? That's ridiculous. You're looking at well over 3 hours to charge this thing fully. This is one of them phones you charge overnight. You do not try to get no quick charge in the day. Like if you come home and you need to charge this up, no, it's not happening. You want to charge this overnight. Now, I'll say this. Because the battery life is so good, you're not going to need to charge this phone up in the middle of the day unless you're going stone crazy on it, gaming and stuff, and just go through the battery. But other than that, if you're just using it normally, you're not going to need to worry about charging this up in the middle of the day or at the end of the day. This is going to last you well into the next day. Day and a half to 2 days battery life. At least that's what I got from it. Next, no expandable storage. Now, that's something, of course, we know that's going away for premium devices. Some budget devices and mid-ranges are keeping it, but for the most part, it's gone. I don't like that because expandable storage is so important to so many people, especially for somebody like me that's a storage monster. I store so many movies, music, photos, a lot of things on my phone. If I want to shoot at 1080p at 60 or maybe 4K, I don't have to worry about running out of internal space. So I don't like that this doesn't have expandable storage. Next, the keyboard typing experience on this is not good. At least not for me. I don't like it. I'm using a Gboard because most of the time when I'm using the the ones that come with the phone, the keyboards that come with the phone, I don't really like the experience. So I put Gboard on here, hooked it all up, but it just misses too often. It skips stuff. It's just not good. I don't enjoy typing on this device at all. It's pretty bad. Next, the cameras. Cameras are just okay. They're not horrible, but my Redmi Note 11 Pro takes way better pictures and video than this thing to me, and that phone is even cheaper than this one, and I would definitely take that phone over this one any day of the week. I'll do a comparison between the two, and you'll understand why I made that statement. All right, and now I'm going to show you the photos that I took with this phone, and then we'll get into the settings real quick. Take a look at these photos and videos. Y'all let me know what you think. All right, so let's take a look at the settings. Get in here real fast. And I'm not going to try to waste your time. Let me see. You're not going to get in the app. Some things I'm just going to flat out ignore it. Now, it's about the LEDs. As you know, you see here, I got them on. You could turn the brightness up or down. See, I turned the brightness all the way down. See, they don't have to be super bright. You could put them in, like you can have them going off when you get incoming calls. You could turn it on so if you get an incoming call, they'll start, LEDs. Well, sound only, you get sound only, LED lights will be disabled, so you can disable them when you're getting an incoming call. So like I said, I say if you only want it in medium, so I'll put it in the middle. They're still relatively bright, but if you go all out like me, because I'm crazy, they be super bright like that. But that's just me. Now in here you can add a new pattern if you want. You can use pattern 1. Now pattern 1, if I go to pattern 1, that's basically just a color. So pattern 1 will give me, see how this thing acts a little funny? You know, maybe the screen is super sensitive. I don't know. It shouldn't have did that. So let's go back into here again. Let me see, notifications. All right, you can turn the sound on. The same thing, you could disable these when you get notifications. I got it always on, but you could turn that off. That's why it's constantly flashing. Pattern 1, you can switch it to pattern 1. You can go pattern 2, you see it's green. But I got it on random, so it's going to be random. So there's all different types. You know, got blue, excuse me, fluorescent green, another blue there, purple, then of course, random, which you may want to use, but that's up to you. All right, so you could have them come on with your notifications. You don't have to. You could have them come on when you play your music. It'll be flashing like this. Of course, I got it always on. I'm going to shut it off now, so it's not always on. All right, so now let me see. I got ambient light, so I got to turn that off. This is why it's keep flashing like that, so I'm going to turn this off. See, now it's not going to be constantly going off like that. So if you go back to patterns, you go back to 1, it's just going to be red. Okay? Go to pattern 2, just going to be green. Just going to be blue. Just going to be fluorescent green. Just going to be blue again. Just going to be purple. Or you could go random depending on what you're doing. All right. So you got your ambient light. You got your charger. Charging reminder. Let you know how long it's going to take to charge it. LED light functions priority. Basically, this is really not saying nothing. Let me see. Bedtime schedule. You can set this phone for your bedtime schedule. You can disable that if you want to. But that's pretty much, you know, all it is as far as the LED lights. It's not a whole lot. You got intelligent assistant. Status bar cannot be pulled down on lock screen. You could have it don't. Ring volume increases gradually. Fingerprint vibrator. You can have it fingerprint vibrate when you push it. Memory extension, which is cool, so you could extend your RAM basically all the way up to 7 gigs. Create additional RAM by occupying storage. Use this feature only when there's enough storage space available on your device. So that's cool if you need more. Say if you're a gamer and, you know, I think this only comes with 6 gigs of RAM, so if you want to increase it, you just got to make sure you have enough internal storage to do that, and then, you know, you'll be good to go. Call record, you got call recording, you got scan, and I think that's the bar scan thing. Yeah, so you got that type of scan right there. And I think that's pretty much it, honestly. Oh, the shortcut settings. So basically, you can set these for whatever app you want. So say function 1 I got set for shortcut settings. So you got to turn that on. So it's only one button. So function 2 I think I got it set. Oh, hold up. Let me go back, my bad, because I don't use it that much. So the first one I got set, you go in here, short press for your Google Assistant if you want to use that, long press, no operation, double press for a screenshot. So I got it short press to do Google Assistant. So I'll do that now, short press. See, my Google Assistant came up. So I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to press the second one. And I got it set to go straight to YouTube. Oh, it's not going right to it because I got I had to turn the Wi-Fi turned off. So basically it'll go straight to YouTube. Let me come out of it and give it a chance to set. Let me do it again. There you go. Goes right to YouTube. So that's cool. So I'm going to start getting a lot of notifications because my Wi-Fi hasn't been on. So let's go back into settings again. You can see your battery percentage down here. 2 days left. Storage capacity here. Your sound. So you can go in here. Make things a little louder. You can make some adjustments, but it's really not going to sound that good, only because, so you got sound enhancement. You can make it a little louder, but it's not going to be that loud, honestly. It's the speaker is just okay because it's one speaker. Display, of course, you can go into using dark mode. You know, you can see a lot of different, you can change your font size, you know, stuff like that. Adaptive brightness, wallpapers, screen timeout, stuff like that. Just your normal everyday stuff. Accessibilities, you have that stuff on here. Security, find my device, lock screen, privacy, location, safe and emergency stuff, SOS, password and accounts, digital well-being, Google preferences, system, and about phone. So all the other stuff on here is pretty standard. The only thing is like intelligent assistants, the LED lights, and of course your shortcuts. That's pretty much it as far as features on this device. Now, I'm all done with the review. Like I said, the display is not horrible, but I don't like LED, LCD displays. But let me say this about this device real quick, for those of you that stuck around this long. I'm not keeping this phone, but I'm not sending it back either. I'm going to be giving this phone away along with another phone once I get to 6,000 subscribers. So all you got to do is subscribe. Of course, give me a thumbs up. That would be appreciated. And I'm going to be giving this phone away with another phone once I get to 6,000 subscribers. So I'm not giving one person two phones. I'm going to give two people a chance of winning two different phones. But let me say this and listen to me closely, because I'm not going to say this again in the comment section. I'm only doing US only. I cannot do outside the US because there's too many restrictions. They won't take this phone because of on a plane, and it's been too expensive. I send it out, spend all this money, then they send it back to me. It's just too much. So this is going to be US only. This will not be an international giveaway. So it'll be US only. So whoever want to could get involved. All you're going to have to do, once I get to 6,000 subscribers, I'll come on again. All you got to do, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and then after a week or so, I'll announce the winner. So this phone, as well as another phone, I'll be giving away once I reach 6,000 subscribers. So please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe. You may get a chance at winning this device along, or the other device that I'm going to put with it. I just don't know what device that's going to be at this time. So thank you all very much for viewing this content. I do appreciate it. Now, like I said, I don't hate this phone. I like the display. It's cool. The build quality is excellent. The battery life is great. The performance, I'm sorry, I meant to say something about the performance. Performance is okay. It could be a lot better. It's not as good as it should be, but it's okay. This is more so good for like a good backup phone. And I wouldn't use this as my main phone because I would get frustrated. It just has, things about it I just don't like, which I talked about already. The cameras are okay. Like I said, the best thing about this phone really to me is how big this device is and the battery life. Those are the two best things about this device in my opinion. All right, so once again, thank you all for your time and your attention. I do appreciate it. Hope everybody out there stays safe, staying well, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.